Good morning, guys. Welcome to Tuesday, April 21st. It's nice to see you. If you don't know me, I'm Marshall Burtcher, and I help codependents rediscover happiness after codependency, after narcissistic abuse and neglect. So, for the last couple of days, last couple of trainings rather, we've been talking about the 4 impacts that narcissistic abuse has on us. So today we're going to be talking about the guilt impact. But before we get to that, I need to share this out to the community. Okay, so the community, let's go here and click here. The community is a safe, secure, private group on Facebook where you can be seen, loved, and supported and get guidance for your particular situation. You can find out that you're not alone, that you're not crazy, and that you can have a home, a place, a shelter in which to explore and understand your journey and what you're going through. So let me get that shared out to there. Boom, got that done. Now, if you want to join the community, the link is above on Facebook. It's below on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button because I release videos 3 or 4 times a week. All right, so let's do this. Good morning, guys. I'm excited that you're here. Let me know in the comments below that you're here. The heart button or the like button. Let me know how your weekend was. Let's jump into it. So guilt. So there are 4 programmed impacts from narcissistic abuse. The first one is shame, second one's fear, third one is guilt, and the fourth one's fatigue. And today we're targeting guilt because guilt is mostly programmed, okay, along with shame. Shame is a programmed response, and this programming happens with the kind of feedback we receive from other people and their response to us, what we did, what we asked for, what we didn't do, how we responded or reacted to something. How they react to that impresses upon us to feel a certain way. And when we deal with parents that are narcissistic, we deal with spouses or partners or peers that are narcissistic, or we grow up in systems that are dominantly narcissistic, we're going to be programmed with a lot of shame and guilt, which will lead to more fear and fatigue because we're scared of being thrown away. We're scared of being unloved, unwanted, being excluded, isolated. And then the fatigue comes in with this great effort to maintain things. Well, guilt is one of those big programmed responses. So ask yourself this question. What is it you feel guilty about needing? Because I'll tell you, in my journey, I felt guilty needing attention. I felt guilty needing some love, some shelter, being understood. I felt guilty for having anxiety and being unsure about things and needing reassurance. I felt guilty about wanting things. I felt guilty about intimacy, about desires for connection, desires for being belonging, for affection, for play. There's a lot of guilt around these things, and this guilt was encoded into me through the experience of how my parents and some peers responded to these things. When I put it to them, they would balk at it. They'd be like, why do you need so much? Why are you so sensitive? They'd make fun of me about what I wanted or how I wanted what I wanted. And then I would get these passive-aggressive messages from my peers and parents about how much of a burden it was for them to do that. And they'd be like, okay. Or they get real quiet and real aggressive in their behavior, but they wouldn't say anything, which makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells, that kind of thing. Guys, this is how we're encoded into this experience of guilt, is because their responses lead us to believe that we've done something wrong, something that hurt them or burdened them in some way. This is not our fault. Our needs and our wants are not burdens. They are not wrong. They are not bad. They are not shameful. They are natural. They are worthy. They are valuable. See, I look at needs and wants as a means of connection and contribution with others and with myself. If I don't have a need or want, then what am I going to be able to contribute or receive from others? Right? I mean, you're watching this video because you have an interest or a need or a want in what I have to say. I'm sharing this video because I have a need and a want to share and connect and contribute and show you guys the freedom beyond codependency in this. So that's a big deal. What's going on for us right now when it comes to guilt? We've been conditioned into this. And so that guilt is false. Think about that for a moment. What if the guilt you feel about having a want or a need, a boundary, saying no, saying yes, being different, being your individual self, having limits, what if that guilt was false? What if it was not true? What does that feel like? That or a fact like, wow, my guilt's not even it's not a true thing. I don't have to feel guilty about having a want or need. What's that feel like in your body? What's that feel like in your heart and in your beingness? Because for me, it brings a lot of relaxation, a lot of openness, a lot of peace. Because suddenly I'm like, I can ask, I can be me. I don't have to be questioning what I think and feel anymore, or what I want or what I need. I don't have to be arguing with myself or doubting myself or villainizing myself. Instead, I'm like, wow, that's a valid need. I'd like to have that. I could go out and meet people and go to places and do things that meet that need or want. See, that's the magic of this. When we don't have guilt in the way, then we can tap into what we want, how we want it, and then align with who can provide that in a way that's mutually beneficial to everyone involved. So that's my little secret to meeting wants and needs, is to know what you want, how you want it, and then match it with who lines up with that. That's the who approach to needs and wants. See, when we let go of guilt, we can start to let go of this false programming, this false internalization that we are a problem. Someone else's response to our needs and wants is their business, not ours. Okay? The way another individual responds to us is a reflection of their own relationship to their needs. So we can stop internalizing that. And it's an important step to do that, because when we want to know and understand someone for who they are, lots of beeping things, when we want to know and understand someone for who they are, we need to disconnect from the internalization of their behavior and go, okay, they're behaving this way in response to this behavior. How do I feel about their behavior or their response to this thing? Differentiate it. And if guilt or shame come up, then we need to release on those so we can find out what we really actually feel. Because a lot of times we feel indifferent about what shows up. We're actually not that swayed into shame or guilt as we believe we are when we don't have our programming activated. A lot of times you'll even discover that you have compassion for how they feel because you're not interpreting their behavior as something wrong with you. You're not internalizing it as this is a reflection of me. Rather, you're seeing it accurately, and this is a demonstration of what's in them and what's going on for them. So, liberating from guilt can be a little tricky because it's not a mental exercise as much as it's a somatic or emotional exercise. And so, in the description above, I have provided one of my guilt release tools from the HEAL system and from the happiness strategy that you can apply right now. It takes about 20 minutes. And it leads you through a 3-step process of releasing the guilt, integrating love, and then leading you into embodying who you are without that guilt, but with that love. So it's a pretty powerful little tool that way. But also get into the question of, well, what if I didn't have to feel guilt about this? Is it true that I need to feel guilt about this? Who would I be if I didn't feel guilt about this? Who would I be if I didn't trust that I had to feel guilt about this? Right? Questions can really, break down this kind of concept, this kind of programming that comes in with guilt. And ultimately, you can give yourself the permission not to feel guilty for having needs and wants, and not to have to fix other people's feelings about your needs and wants. I love that approach because it's so liberating. So guys, guilt is that third impact of narcissistic abuse. It's a programmed impact, and you can release it by using the tool linked above if you're on Facebook, below if you're on YouTube. Guys, get out there, give it a shot. Discover who you are beyond your guilt, beyond that narcissistic abuse. And then let me know in the comments what you got out of today's video. I appreciate you. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. Be safe, and I will see you guys in our next training video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.